And guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to do a quick little video on something nice and simple, which is fair value gaps, what to look for and how to draw them, to give you a potential opportunity to either obviously buy or sell. So essentially, fair value gap, let me just have a go at drawing here for you. So it makes up of three candles. Let's just say something like this, for example. Just give you a quick little rundown. And you basically, let me take that off a minute. Basically, it's not perfect, but how do I turn that off? Style, that's right. So basically, you know, something nice and simple, where you are looking for three candles that are going up or down. I will show you coming down as well. So basically, you're just looking for three continued candles, green, 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 or red, red, red. Okay, and then what you are looking for is from the first candle. Okay, it's not perfect, but you know, just as a quick little example, I can't seem to line that up for some reason. But basically, you are looking for, let's say this candle is number one, nice and easy, obviously. I can't move that over, I have no clue. And then we have candle number two, candle number three. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. And all you are looking to do from the top of candle number one, so this is green, 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 it's an uptrend. Okay, you've got the candle, which is the big body, and the wick, which is the small little stick in the middle. So again, you got the wick, the wick, the wick, the candle, the candle, the candle, or the body rather, I should say. So you want to go from candle number one, the top of the wick, right, to ignore candle number two, and then candle number three, you want to go from the wick at the bottom. So you're going from the top of number one to the bottom of number three, and then you draw that across, and what that leaves is a fair value gap, an area that has been a massive buyers in this case, and it's just pushed right through this area, this zone right here, pushed up and created a fair value gap, which is a place of interest. And then all you are essentially doing is waiting for, say, a couple more candles for it to then pull back into this area, to then retest this gap here on this candle number two, to then go all the way back up, to then aim for the liquidity right at the top. And it's exactly the same with a downtrend fair value gap. So again, let me just quickly try and draw you one here, and then we'll try and show an example. So it's candle number one. So again, these are all red candles. Candle number two would be something like this, say, and then candle number three would say be something like that. Let me draw the wick. So let's just, I don't know, let's say candle number one is there. Where's my line gone? Candle number two, and then candle number three. So we have, all these are red, so this was an uptrend. These are green candles, so these are coming down. So we've got three continued red candles. We have our bodies and we have our wicks, and then again, so we've got 1, 2, 3, exactly in the same order as the uptrend. The green candles are 1, 2, 3, exactly the same again, 1, 2, 3. But instead of going from the top of the candle, of the wick, sorry, you are going to go to the bottom of the wick, to the top of the wick on number three, and drag it across. So exactly the same. So on this one, obviously, we went from the top to the bottom when they're all green. You go from the bottom to the top when they're all red. And then again, you're waiting for a few candles to play out. So let's just say there's a few candles here that have just come in. And then essentially all you're doing now is just waiting for these candles to pull back into this area, anywhere within this area, to then look for a sell back down to the bottom where the liquidity is. Okay, so quick little recap just to show you again. So that is what we're looking for on an uptrend, for a fair value gap, sorry, for a place of interest where we can see a potential buy. So we've got candles 1, 2 and 3 that are all green. Okay, and you go from the top of the wick of number 1 to the bottom of the wick of number 3. Okay, and then this obviously for a pullback to a buy back to the upside, and then exactly the same, it's just reversed on the down. So all reds, we're looking for 3 red candles in a row. So we've got 1, 2, 3. This time we're going from the bottom to the top. So bottom of number 1 on the wick to the top of the wick on number 3, waiting for it to pull back into somewhere within this area where number 2 was, and then looking for the sell back down to the downside. So if we now want to try and bring these into scenarios, let's just drag it over here, for example. So we're looking for 3 candles in a row. So we have 1, this massive bullish candle here, and then which is 2, and then 3. So we draw from the top of number 1. It always makes life a little bit easier if you've got the magnet on, just so you know that it's perfect. So you go from the top of the wick to the bottom of the wick, and then see how we've got this massive gap here, and all we do is just drag it across. Okay, drag it across, and then you're just basically looking for potentials to buy. Okay, now obviously you don't just want to buy just because it's in that area. You know, you do want to look out for other things like which way the trends are going, support and resistance, trend lines as well included, things like that. So obviously, you know, here's your support, your resistance, sorry. So you got 1, 2, 3 taps. Obviously the lower end of this fair value gap you want to be looking for. You know, this is where you want to draw up your support and resistance levels, which is on one of my other videos if you want to check that out, support and resistance. So again, you know, it's just an area of interest. So rather than buying somewhere up here, you can think, right, I've got a fair value gap here, I've got resistance here, which is broke, and now it's retested. As it starts to push out this fair value gap and this resistance, which is now support, you can narrow it down. So this little area here where these zones overlap would have been a perfect place to have placed your buy. Stop loss just below. I like to round it up, so where is it at the bottom? So it's 9, so let's just round it up to 10, say. And then obviously the pullback is somewhere on one of these. Not the pullback, the TPs is somewhere on these. So if you'd have aimed for the top of this one, you would have had a 7 to 1. So that could have been TP1. TP2 is here, which would have been a nice little, basically a 10 to 1. And then a TP3 would be an 11 to 1, which is absolutely insane. But yeah, so that is how to incorporate fair value gaps into your trading. So that would have been for a buy. And the reason it would have been a buy, because what color? Well, my candles are blue, but obviously, you know, if yours are green, blue, whatever, as long as you know which ones are your bullish candles, then you know which way you are heading. And it's the same with to the downside. So now I'm going to show you an example of 3 red candles, so bearish candles. So you've got 1, 2, 3 right here. Okay, 1, 2, 3, and opposite to the other one, we're going to go from the bottom this time to the top of number 3. So the bottom of number 1, ignore number 2, to the bottom of number 3, drag it across. Okay, and again, you don't just want to use fair value gaps. I mean, you can just use fair value gaps. A lot of people do trade just the fair value gaps, but sometimes you do get these little annoying little wicks that just tap you out. I mean, if you'd have entered this one on the first time, you'd have hit TP here. But there are some occasions where they just tap you out. But again, how to help you incorporate there, you can look for some support and resistance. So obviously it's come back down, there's support here, so we can use this to draw our support. So again, both of these, to be fair, would have been perfect. So you could have, rather than selling down here, look for a more, just to narrow it down just a little bit to pinpoint that little bit more accuracy. So here would have been a perfect zone to have sold. So let's say you sold right at the top. Stop loss, again, my OCD, I like to round in, so let's just say 12, so it's just above. And then at the bottom, so that would have been a nice little 3 to 1. And then if you'd have done the same over here, stop loss exactly the same, you could have either entered the same place, which would have been a 3 to 1, or you could be holding this now for somewhere to the bottom, which would be a 6 to 1. So that is how to use fair value gaps. Again, let me show you the latest one. So this is the 4-hour time frame. So I'm going to use the most recent example. So we've got 1, 2, 3. We've got a huge gap here. Obviously, if you'd use these 3, okay, let me just make this a little bit bigger for you. If you'd use these 3, I know I said 3 in a row, but obviously if you'd have gone from the top to the bottom, you're now going against yourself. So see how I've dragged that down? This is up, so you want to be going up. So top of number 1, miss number 2, hit the bottom of number 3. See how I went up from number 1 to number 3, and then from here I went down from number 1 to number 3. So you want to be going up. Drag that across. Okay, obviously in this situation you would have been stopped out, you know, but again, this is where you want to be looking across, just seeing is there any extra support we can look for, any areas for potential buys and sells, to help you make your analysis. And again, there's another one here. Once you've done a few, it does become so much, you almost just can't help but see them. There's one there again, which would have been a perfect sell. So let's say you didn't, what we've done just 4, so I'd have lost 1, won 3, which ain't too bad. You know, it's pretty good going, especially with those risk to reward ratios. What was that, like 3 to 1, 7 to 1 on some of them. You know, so that is how you draw fair value gaps. I'm gonna show you again just one last time, make life a little bit easier. Just take a little bit of practice, just get used to it at first, have a little bit of a practice. Don't enter if you're not too sure, just draw them and just see how they play out, and just practice. That's all it is. But yeah, thank you for watching. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe as usual, and good luck trading with next week. Let's see how we get on. Peace out.